I've been telling you guys this was coming. I have been telling you guys that I got this feeling that Caitlin Clark is going to be treated differently this season by dump divers in the WNBA. Now, whether or not the mainstream media complies is a different story. Matter of fact, compliance from the mainstream media is doubtful, but in terms of WNBA players and those associated with the WNBA, I think we are going to see Caitlin Clark treated differently this season. And it's already started 6 weeks before the dump reopens for the regular season. Last week, we saw Napheesa Collier dodge an obvious attempt from ESPN to show jealousy and resentment towards Caitlin Clark. The insufferable host from Woke Take, Molly Karam, she tried to serve the shit sandwich to Napheesa Collier. She was complaining about Caitlin Clark having damn near every game nationally televised, while teams like the Minnesota Lynxers, they are struggling to buy airtime on public broadcasting stations. Molly Karam set up Napheesa Collier beautifully. It was the perfect opportunity for her to express her resentment towards Caitlin Clark. Now, this time last year, that's probably exactly what would have happened. But this year, the response was completely different. Watch for yourself.
Caitlin Clark obviously has been a hot button topic on the show. Her team is going to have 41 of their 44 games nationally televised, while the reigning champs, the Liberty, only have 32. Was this a fair move by the W?
I think it's two things. I mean, obviously people want to watch Caitlin play, and so you have to put the people on TV that people want to see. But at the same time, like, there's stars all over the league, and you want good basketball as well. Obviously, Indiana, especially like with their free agents, they're gonna be a great team. But to not have the defending champs on TV more, I think it's kind of crazy. I mean, it doesn't have to be where you're taking games away from Indiana, but I think you can raise the level of TV games for the other teams as well.
The worldwide leader in woke, ESPN, is not the only one in the mainstream media trying to create jealousy. Headline at The Guardian: why hasn't Middle America given Paige Buckner the Caitlin Clark treatment? It's so unfair. I'll tell you why white people aren't supporting Paige Buckner. Paige has been willing to embrace Black America. Her support of Black America has turned white America against her. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not familiar with Black America. The only white America I'm familiar with is a god-awful song written by Eminem. Other than that, I've never heard of white America either. The only America I'm familiar with is the United States of America. For starters, I don't know why The Guardian is wasting time publishing articles about two young white women. I thought The Guardian was focused on the plight of the Guardians. I thought The Guardian was focused on Elizabeth Warren and her relationship with Chief Wahoo McDaniel. But over the weekend, The Guardian took a break from covering Native Americans in a desperate attempt to make Paige Bueckers resentful of Caitlin Clark and her supporters. Last year, WNBA players, they were willing to further this media narrative, but this year, things could be different. Matter of fact, WNBA legend Lisa Leslie, she has already sent a clear message to WNBA players before the season has even started. You can either appreciate Caitlin Clark and what she has done to elevate this dump, or you can shut the hell up. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel is in the description below. Tomorrow morning on the second channel, going to be talking about Mike Wilbon from PTI criticizing ESPN and the rest of the media. Mike Wilbon seems to be disgusted with the current state of the media here in America, which is something that he has in common with damn near everyone else. The media seems to have replaced journalism with a consistent flow of polished turds, kind of like the article from The Guardian that we just talked about. We'll be discussing all that tomorrow morning on the second channel, so click the link in the description below and subscribe. This weekend, Lisa Leslie was interviewed by USA Today. Well, Casey, was she interviewed by the Star Trek virgin Mike Freeman? No, Mike doesn't work weekends. He usually leaves work early on Fridays to catch happy hour on the Death Star. After another long week of receiving no matches on Lonely Mans, Mike spends his weekend hoping to seduce stormtroopers in person. My inside sources are telling me that Mike had to be removed from the Death Star bar on Friday night. He got a little belligerent when Master Yoda refused to be his masturbator. But anyway, Lisa Leslie, she was interviewed by a young woman from USA Today. Now, for those that don't know, Lisa Leslie is an actual WNBA legend. She's not one of these fake legends that the mainstream media creates like Bob Griner or Angel Reese. Lisa Leslie is a true pioneer in women's basketball. She is also a rarity in the WNBA. For starters, Lisa Leslie is a Christian woman, which, as you guys know, that is extremely rare in the WNBA. But what makes Lisa Leslie even more rare in the WNBA is the fact that she is married to a biological man. All kidding aside, she was speaking with USA Today, and Lisa Leslie was asked about the national TV schedule for the WNBA this season. In a rare instance of smart, logical business, the WNBA has decided to heavily feature Caitlin Clark on national television. 41 out of her 44 games will be either nationally televised or available on national platforms. Now, some in the media are complaining about the lack of equity with the WNBA schedule. The New York Lesbians won the WNBA Finals and secured access to the Golden Toilet. Caitlin Clark has never even won a playoff series, but for some reason the Lesbians have fewer nationally televised games. Where is the equity? Yeah, you know who doesn't give a damn about equity? The networks. I know ESPN pretends to care about equity, but it's funny how their care for equity suddenly disappears when it comes to making money. Lisa Leslie discussed the fact that Caitlin Clark is heavily featured on national TV, and she insinuated that there is no room for jealousy. Watch for yourself.
All about money, marketing, and we cannot deny what Caitlin Clark has done for the women's game. I'm not going to act like it's something that we don't see. She's had a huge effect. Have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games? I think we have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else. And I think Caitlin has said that even herself in certain interviews. I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game. Being at Unrivaled, I wish that she was there. Like, I miss seeing her play, so I really look forward to seeing her back out there. And are we going to get upset about 5, 6, 10 games less on television or not? I don't think we should.
For starters, and this is just me being petty, but I thought it was ironic that Lisa Leslie had a plaque from the Big Three in the background, which is the 3-on-3 league that's owned by Ice Cube, but there was nothing in the background from Unrivaled. All kidding aside, obviously, Lisa Leslie is 100% right here. She is saying the same things that normal people were saying last year. The difference now is we are starting to hear this sentiment from those associated with the WNBA. I have been telling you guys for a few weeks now that I think we are going to see Caitlin Clark treated differently this season. Not by the media, but I think we could see her treated differently by current players in the WNBA. In the clip, Lisa Leslie mentioned that she wanted to see Caitlin Clark in Unrivaled. You know who else wants to see Caitlin Clark in Unrivaled? Well, Casey, it's TNT. They were willing to break the bank. They are begging her to join their secondary dump. Yeah, that's true, but TNT doesn't need Caitlin Clark and Unrivaled nearly as bad as the players do. Unrivaled is paying players like Angel Reese $200,000 for 8 weeks of pretend basketball. In the WNBA, Angel Reese is making less than $80,000 for over 5 months. The problem is, this free money coming from TNT, it is going to evaporate if Unrivaled doesn't start drawing flies to this steaming turd. The only player in the history of women's basketball that's been able to draw an audience is Caitlin Clark. The same Caitlin Clark who elevated her value by refusing to play in Unrivaled this past season. This is pure speculation on my part, but I would imagine part of the reason that Caitlin Clark turned down over $1 million to play in Unrivaled, it's because of the way she was treated last season in the WNBA. Which is why I keep saying I think we'll see her treated differently this season. These WNBA players making 6 figures in Unrivaled, they know they need Caitlin Clark to keep that free money coming in. Because if Unrivaled has a repeat of the ratings from this past season, it's over. The question is, will this have a negative impact on the WNBA? If Caitlin Clark is accepted and embraced by WNBA players, will it have a negative impact on the league? Will it have a negative impact on her drawing power? I think so. I'm not saying Caitlin Clark will suddenly be pulling Angel Reese numbers. I'm not saying that Caitlin Clark will go from averaging over 1 million viewers to struggling to draw 400,000. But if Caitlin Clark is suddenly embraced, if everyone in the WNBA becomes besties, I think it could have a detrimental impact on the league. Well, Casey, that's not true. NBA players are best friends, and the NBA is making a huge comeback. Yeah, there's also a huge difference between the NBA and pretend basketball. For starters, people have been complaining about the lack of rivalries in the NBA for years now. NBA ratings would be a hell of a lot better if the league was generating heat. But even with that not being the case, the NBA can always depend on their talent, the product on the court. The NBA can always rely on the fact that they feature the best 450 basketball players in the world. The WNBA does not have that luxury. Outside of Caitlin Clark, the WNBA is a slog. It is some of the worst basketball imaginable. One of the main reasons the WNBA was so interesting last summer, it was the constant drama surrounding Caitlin Clark. The jealousy, the resentment, the bitterness. It created interest. It gave people a reason to watch. You had a hero competing against a league full of villains. If everyone in the dump is besties, the WNBA becomes a lot less interesting. Look, I could be wrong. Maybe there is legitimate interest in pretend basketball. I just think a lot of the interest last summer had to do with the conflict. What about you? Would the WNBA be as interesting without the conflict? Do you think we could see Caitlin Clark treated differently by WNBA players this season? And if so, will it have a negative impact on their ratings? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.